actually say one thing here without repeating talking points that sometimes climate deniers and delayers use? It is absolutely important that the U.S. reduces its emissions very rapidly. It's a moral imperative. It's important for demonstrating to the world that a developed economy can decarbonize without major sacrifice. That is important. That leadership is important. And the U.S. is going to be like 13% of emissions, okay? All of the emissions are going to come from non-OECD economies that are developing. So one way to think about the U.S.'s role in addressing climate is to actually take a step back and think, like, it's not just about us decreasing our internal emissions as rapidly as possible. That is an important piece of it. But the investments in the innovative technologies that are going to represent 40% of the global emissions reductions, we now have a policy framework in the U.S. for those more innovative technologies where we have an opportunity to actually lead in innovating, building, and deploying those things, and importantly, diffusing them internationally. So like I get a little about the modeling anyway. I mean, I love Jesse and it's important, but like
sure you do.
I get a little It's also
Mr. Model over here.
Yeah, like okay, enough. But I do think and I've been thinking a lot about, you know, in debates about democratic politics and strategy, there's been a lot of conversation about impulses of the coalition toward maximalism, right? And climate has this thing where it has been framed as a physical, scientific problem where there are hard limits. If we do not fully solve the problem and get to net zero emissions, or
get there by some deadline,
yeah. Or or in the next 10 years, if we don't keep to 1.5 degrees, the planet's going to fall off a cliff. That is scientifically incorrect. It is true that there are uncertainties in the climate system, but every degree of warming, every fraction of a degree of warming that we don't cause matters. It matters a lot for the risks of climate change. And so I kind of think that there's a way in which we framed this such that it encourages that kind of impulse among the Democratic Party to sort of say, it's all or nothing. Like progress is not worth considering because we have to solve this problem completely in the next 5 years or the planet is doomed. That is just not true.
And that also contributes, I think, to a mindset that, well, we've just suffered this big political loss. It's a truly substantive step backwards. Mm-hmm. Some people interpret that, well, now we're done. Like, we've lost. Yeah. It's over. Like, there's nothing we can do. We're going to run out of time. And that's not how it works.